There we go. All right. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Mansfield Town News and Views. As always, we're going to discuss everything on the latest MTFC news and views. And tonight, we're finally talking about a Mansfield Town victory. After 14 games without a win in the league, we've finally got a win under our belts. And, well, how much of a relief that is, and hopefully now we can then get up the table more and, hopefully just get away from the bottom. So, yeah, just as always, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below on the victory against Tranmere. Also, we're going to be discussing the Sunderland game that we've got coming up this weekend and the FA Cup. Another good chance for us to try and get forward the competition. But as always, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. So yeah, I just want to start by talking about Tranmere. Finally, after 14 league games, we've finally got a win. 3 points. We've done it. We've managed to do it. A convincing 2-0 victory. And fully deserved. Like I say, I thought we did plenty enough to get the 3 points. A lot of the players performed well, and again, it was just such an good all-round team performance. And we've been sat here so many times, just coming close to getting the 3 points, but we've managed to not get over the line. But luckily, we managed to get the 3 points, and hopefully now this can really kickstart our season, because again, it's about time we got more points on the board. Chris, evening, mate. Hope you're well. Yes, good. Thank you, Chris. Same to you, mate. But yeah, like I say, guys, let us know your comments in the section below, as always, on your thoughts on everything MTFC. There's so many positives to take from the Tranmere game. Obviously the 3 points being the main thing. Clean sheet as well. That's our third clean sheet as well this season, so it was great to be solid as well in defence. And there was a number of good performances as well. Rhys Oates in particular, he really, one of the standout performers. He was just all over the place. He was getting involved. He set a goal up. He scored himself, and like I say, probably the best game in the Stag shirt. Rhys Oates did. It was everything what you want in a player, just to give it their all, and hopefully he can start showing what he's made of now. But one player that has made a massive difference, and I'm sure you guys will agree on this as well, and a lot of people have already touched on this, but Stephen Quinn, what a massive influence Stephen Quinn's been on the team since he's been back from suspension. Not just because of his experience, but just his just him getting the energy in midfield, and really starting to show his know-how in the game. And he's been a massive influence since he's been back in the side, Stephen Quinn. So hopefully now, like I say, this result can kickstart our league form and get us climbing up the table. Just reading down some of your comments, guys. Let's have a look. Chris, just my usual self. Thanks, no me. Good stuff. Richard, evening, Richard. Fantastic performance Saturday. Great result. Now on to Saturday. On to Sunderland Saturday in FA Cup. Definitely something to build on. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And that's what we need to do, really. I know it's a different matter in the cup, but like you say, in the cup, anything can happen. We're going to be travelling down in big numbers. There's already been 1,000 tickets sold. So there's going to be a massive crowd in the away end. So yeah, looking forward to it, And the other thing as well, what will help is the fact it will be less pressure on us to get a result there, because not just because of how we've been doing in the league, but one good thing about cup competitions is there's no pressure. So a lot of people won't expect us to go down there and get anything from it. But last season, we did, and we got through to the next round. So anything can happen in the FA Cup. You can never underestimate anybody. So yeah, we're coming off the back of a good win, and you can argue Sunderland. I think they've lost the last 3 games or last 2 games, so they're going into it in bad form. So it's probably a good time we're playing Sunderland when you think about it. But yeah, let's hope, like you say, we can build on it and just keep that momentum up, if anything. Chris, this could be confidence boost win for you lot. Yeah, hopefully, Chris. Like we've been saying for many weeks now, is we just need that one win, which will hopefully get us get our season back on track and hopefully have some consistency, really. But like in football, you don't want to look too far ahead. You've got to take each game as it comes, and hopefully we can build on this. But yeah, like I say, we've got to look forward to the Sunderland game in the FA Cup, and just give it our best shot and see what happens. Essentially, let's get down to some of your comments. Evening, Paul. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for everyone else for tuning into the podcast. As always, really do appreciate you taking your time. But yeah, let us know your thoughts as well on the Tranmere Rovers game. Who really stood out for you and what really stood out for you in the match as well. Let us know your thoughts as always in the comments section below on what players really impressed you. Like I say, Reece Oates, like we mentioned before, he's without a doubt had the best game in a Stag shirt, in my opinion. He was all over the pitch, and quite rightly so, given Man of the Match award. He just ran his socks off. He was brilliant. He was completely unplayable. Great to see Danny Johnson get himself a goal. Disappointing that he missed a penalty, but hopefully that goal will give him the confidence as well to get himself more goals. And I think if anything with the players, I think it's just, again, it comes down to confidence. We've said this for a while now, obviously, but this is what it comes down to: just the players having the confidence to obviously get more good performances out. But yeah, like I say, it was hard to be critical of any player, to be honest with you. I thought everybody played well again. They put a good shift in, and yeah, again, credit to every single one of the players. I don't think Tranmere was that much of a threat, to be fair, if I'm being honest with you. And that's not to take anything away from the performance, but I didn't really think Tranmere was really threatening to us, to be fair. But that just shows you the resilience to the players defensively as well, because they didn't really threaten Bishop, to be honest. But yeah, as I say, 3 points is all that matters, and a clean sheet is a bonus. So, hopefully that's something to build on. Paul, evening, dude. Hope you were well. Still trying to find out stuff what I inboxed you the other night. Yeah, see if there's anything in that, Paul. But like I say, I know there's been a lot said about potentially what's been happening behind the scenes. But as I say, I'm just here. I'm like every other Mansfield fan. I'm just here to talk about everything Mansfield. I don't know any inside information. I've had people ask me about if anything's happened or been said, but I'm just in the dark as everybody else. So I don't know nothing, to be honest. I really don't. But yeah, like I say, 3 points, a clean sheet against Tranmere. It's exactly what the doctor ordered, and it's about time we finally won a game. So now we've got that monkey off our back. Hopefully now we can. Hopefully we can just kick on from that. So looking ahead to the Sunderland game, obviously it's in the FA Cup, and as we know, anything can happen in the FA Cup. There's going to be a lot going down to that one. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. But yeah, let us know your thoughts as well on the Sunderland game as well, and what you're expecting from that. But like I say, I think the good thing about cup games is, you're not really that much under pressure, to be honest. You can just go there and play with a lot of freedom, so you're not having to really worry about the result as such. But as long as we go down there and put a good performance in, and a performance where we can just give it a roll, then yeah, hopefully we can get something from it. But yeah, anything can happen. Nobody thought we'd have beat Sunderland last season in the FA Cup, and we did. So who knows? But like I say, if we can just perform to how we have been doing for the past few weeks and cause Sunderland problems, then there's a chance we can. And it's one of them. It's always good to have a good cup run, I feel, because when you get a good cup run, obviously you're getting money for the clubs are getting extra money. Players are going to be having confidence for that, and again, the more games you win, the more confidence you breed from it. So yeah, we've got nothing to lose on Saturday. As long as we go there and show a good account for ourselves, then that's all you can ask for as a fan. Like we've said before, as long as they give everything in 90 minutes and they come off the pitch giving it their all, then that's all you can ask for, and hopefully the players can do that, Let's get down some more of your comments, guys. Paul, be good to get a cup run, but the league must remain priority. Oh yeah, 100%. Like I say, we've got to start climbing the table. I mean, yeah, it was a great victory against Tranmere, obviously, a much needed win to take the pressure off Nigel and the players and give the players some breathing space and what have you. But yeah, completely, we need to climb up the table. It's as simple as that, And when you look at the fixtures we've got coming up as well, obviously we're facing Scunthorpe soon, as well as Stevenage as well. Two teams that are around us as well, near the bottom. So these games coming up in the league are going to be really testing for us, because obviously when you're playing sides at the bottom of the table at any point in the season, they're always tough games. So we've really got to be ready for that. But yeah, it's one of them. We all love a cup run, obviously, but at the same time, like you say, Paul, we've got to make sure we've got to do better in the league, obviously, to try and be up there or thereabouts. But yeah, 100%, we've got to have that balance. But as long as we go there, like I say, and give it a roll on Saturday, then I think we'll all be happy with that. But that's the beauty of the FA Cup. You never know. You just never know. But yeah, let's have a look at some more of your comments. Craig, good evening, Craig. Hi, Mark. I think we will go to Sunderland with confidence. Now we won on Saturday. Come on, you Stags. Yeah, I hope so, Craig. I mean, like I say, that hopefully the win against Tranmere will give the players confidence off the back of a win, as well as having a clean sheet. And like I say, there's not much pressure on to do anything, because people won't really expect us to do anything against Sunderland. So we'll be going into it as the underdogs, because Sunderland, to be fair to them, they've had a good start to their season in League One, a different team to when we played them last season. But it's one of them. Anything can happen in the Cup. You've seen it before with teams in this league or leagues above, where teams haven't been doing well in the league, but they come to the Cup and all of a sudden they're a different beast. So who knows what to expect. But yeah, I mean, it's one of them. As long as we go there and give it a roll, and we're going to be backed by over 1,000 Stags fans going down. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and like I say, I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, the players will definitely be more confident from it, and hopefully we can get something from the game. But it's just bizarre, though, isn't it, to get Sunderland twice? You know what I mean? We had them last season, and now we've got them again this season. It's just so weird how it's fallen, to be honest. But hey, that's football. You can only try and beat what's put in front of you. But I'm looking forward to it. And like I say, it's going to be a great atmosphere, and let's just hope we can really give them a good game. That's all we can ask for. But the other positive thing as well, if anybody watched Nigel Clough's press conference, he also confirmed there are players coming back from injury soon. We've got Will Forrester, who's played a couple of games for the Stoke under-23s. So he's close. He's close to getting himself back in the first team as well, which will be a big boost for us in defence, because he's another player that we've not seen anything of yet, with him being injured. So he's another player that will hopefully come into the team and help out in defence. Callum Gordon, it's a big boost to see Cal Gordon back as well. Because I think he's improved a lot this season. We've got Richard Nortis a few weeks away as well. So, it's positive that we've got players coming back from injuries as well. So, you know, finally we're getting players back as well. So, yeah, it's all looking good at the minute. But as I say, we need to build on this victory against Tranmere, though. As much as a good victory it was, there's still a long way to go for us in terms of climbing up the table. So it's a great victory, and it's great to celebrate it and look back on it. But we've obviously got to carry on that momentum and try and get some consistency growing. And that's always the hardest thing in football, is a consistency. But hopefully now the players will have learned from the mistakes, and again, hopefully we can go on a good run like we did last season before all the postponements. But like I say, we'll just have to see how we get on. But yeah, let us know your thoughts as well on this weekend's game as well, going into the Sunderland game. Get that, some more of your comments. Paul thought Quinn, Rawson, Oates, even Hewitt were great on Saturday, Mark. Yeah, there was, Paul. And again, it's one of them. It was one of them performances where everybody played well. There was not one player that really wasn't great. I think the only one that I can think of was Ollie Clark. But other than that, everybody played well. Overall we were solid. We played some really good football, and again we did really well. And credit to the players as well. But as I say, since Stephen Quinn's been back in the team, he's been a real revelation. Just not just with his experience, but his work rate, his leadership on the pitch. And it's just that complete engine in midfield, the player that makes things happen, and we've been missing that for so long. And it has been such a big boost to see him back in the team. And same with Faz Rawson as well. People like myself was very critical of him early in the season. Same with Hewitt, but they've really buckled down, and they've looked solid as the season's progressed. So there are positive signs there. I think the defence has gotten better, to be honest. I mean, yes, we have leaked a lot of goals still, but I don't know. I think the defence isn't looking as bad as what it was a few weeks ago, in my opinion. So yeah, like I say, we are gradually getting there, but again, we are still a long way off from where we obviously want to be. Let's have a look. Paul, why is Ollie Clark captain? Well, it's a very good point you bring. Very good question you brought up there, Paul. Because, and again, I've said this before, and this is nothing against him personally, but I just don't think Ollie Clark is a captain material, and I've said this now for a while. And again, I'm not saying he's not a leader in the changing room or off the pitch. I'm not saying he isn't, but it's just on the pitch. I just don't really see him as a captain material. But the other thing is, though, who else would you have as captain? Though, I mean, the only candidates that I'd say would be Stephen Quinn. You know what I mean? Because obviously, thinking of experienced players, you know what I mean. So. But no, I really wouldn't make Ollie Clark captain. I don't really see him as captain material, in my opinion. I mean, if anybody disagrees with me, obviously by all means say. But I just don't really see him as captain, Ollie Clark, in my opinion. I think the only other candidate you could say is Stephen Quinn. But no, I don't really see him as a captain material, Ollie Clark. Because from captains, you just expect to see... just to hear them more and just to see them instructing them more. And I don't know, I don't see that enough for Clark. And that's the only criticism I would say on Clark. But I've said it for quite a few weeks, to be fair. I think Ollie Clark does need to show a bit more, in my opinion. Just trying to get involved more, in my opinion as well. So, but yeah, hopefully he can. Hopefully he can improve as the season goes along, Ollie Clark. Because he's somebody that you really would expect a lot more from with his experience in the game. He's played obviously League One football as well as League Two, so he's one of them players you just kind of expect a little bit more from, Ollie Clark, in my opinion. But hopefully he can do that as the season progresses. Paul, surely Quinn. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd say so. Like I say, is the only one really that you can see out there that's shouting in the instructions and really getting involved in plays. So yeah, I think Stephen Quinn is somebody that you can look no further than as captain material, to be honest. But yeah, like I say, there is a number of players that you can really say that about, though, that they haven't performed nowhere near to their abilities really. You look at Danny Johnson, for example. He's obviously scored a lot of goals last season for Leyton Orient. And I'm not singling him out or anything, but hopefully he's another player that with the goal he scored last week, hopefully that can give him the confidence to start scoring, because he looked really good in pre-season. Danny Johnson, he really took his goals well, and I know it's only pre-season and you can't read too much into pre-season, obviously, but you don't score that many goals and not be deemed good enough, because again, you've got to acknowledge that he has scored a lot of goals in this league, so there is goals in him, you know what I mean. But again, I think he just needs to try and get himself in more better positions so he can be on the end of them. But yeah, hopefully the goal on Saturday will have given him confidence to get more goals, really, essentially. Paul, that penalty, yeah, it was. I think they're still looking in Nasser for it. You know what I mean? It was that bad. But no, jokes aside, look, I'm not going to criticise anybody that takes a penalty, because I was shocking at them personally, and I would be rubbish under that kind of pressure, to be honest. I would be. So I'm not one for criticising anyone that takes penalties, but boy, it wasn't. I think it was one of the worst you'd probably ever see in a match. But no, credit to him though. He got a goal as well later on in the game, so he did make amends for that from great work from Rhys Oates. But no, I mean, this one of them were penalties though. I've always kind of thought with penalties, as long as it's on target, then you know what I mean, it's on target. If the keeper makes a great save, fair enough, it's on target. But yeah, it wasn't the best you'll ever see. But look, we're all human. We all mess things up. But yeah, hopefully you can just learn from it, essentially. Chris Quinn, very underrated in EFL. Yeah, he's like I say, we've missed him so much since he's been out, because in the midfield we haven't really had many playmakers in there, to be honest with you. I mean, we've got players like George Lapsley that again had a great season last season, but he's another player that hasn't shown the same levels as he did last season. But again, there is so many more games to be played yet, where some of the players haven't really shown the full potential, and hopefully, as the season progresses, some of these players will. But you are starting to slowly see players like Rhys Oates that is showing the quality that he's got, and just hopefully that can continue and improve, really. But yeah, like I say, we've just got to build on this momentum that we've got going, really. And I keep saying it, but it's just all about confidence football. And once you've got that confidence after a win, then hopefully it will just show the players that we can get the results against sides that that are obviously competing at the top level. So it's one of them. We've just got to keep going. But like I say, when you look at the games I've got coming up against Stevenage and Scunthorpe, they're massive games. So it's a big month for us, to be honest. But no, we've just got to focus on one game at a time. Obviously Sunderland away in the FA Cup. Like I said earlier, we've just got to go down there, give it a all, and hopefully we can get something from that. But yeah, from what I understand of it, a lot of away travel has been booked up as well. So if you really want to get yourself going to Sunderland this weekend, make sure that you've got a place on a coach or anything, because they're getting took up pretty quickly. So if you haven't already, make sure that you've got yourself on the coach, because obviously it's like I say, it's places are being taken up quite quick. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's good. It's always good to travel away. I love away days and going down to a ground. Of that magnitude, it's going to be great. And like I say, anything could happen in the cup. We got to the second round last year. Um, you know, third round, sorry, but yeah, like I say, let's hope we can just keep this momentum up what we've got going, really, and just and just build on it essentially. Um, so, obviously, going into this weekend's game, then, would you make any changes to the starting lineup against Sunderland, or would you keep it more of the same against Tranmere? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. So, would you make many changes in going into this weekend's game against Sunderland, or would you keep it more of the same? Bar injuries. See, it's one of them. Ideally you don't really want to take it easy in cup competitions, because I think it's one of them. It's depending what Sunderland's team put out. I think you've got to go there and put a strong team out, just because it's one of them. We're going into the game as underdogs. We're not expected to get anything from the match, and especially with how we've been going in the league so far. So, yeah, I just don't see why we can't go there and cause an upset, really, to be honest. But again, it's just about how we perform, and hopefully we can just give a performance to be proud of as for the fans, really. But yeah, like I say, it's just amazing to experience what a win feels like, to be honest with you, because it's been 14 games without a win, and getting that win, it feels great, and hopefully we can have many more weekends like that, really. So yeah, and again, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, off the pitch as well, about things not being great with the manager and the board and what have you. But again, to my knowledge, we've just got to be focusing on the pitch, if anything, and just keep on trying to get the results to see us climb up the table further, to be honest. So yeah, but yeah, let's have a look. Get down some of your comments. Paul, I would put a strong team out, Mark. However, you run the risk of injuring our better players. Yeah, that's the problem, really, Paul, because, like you say, you don't really want to be risking players, but at the same time, um, you don't really want to go down there with a weakened side, is it? You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a dilemma for Nigel, to be honest. But from what Nigel was saying in his press conference, it's going to be a strong squad. He said yesterday that it's going to be relatively strong. I think the only player that we know that's not going to be involved in it is Stephen McLaughlin. He's a doubt for that, just purely because Nigel doesn't want to risk him, which makes sense because he's been a key player for us as McLaughlin. So there's no point risking any player at all if they've got any potential chance they can get an injury or a knock. There's no point risking that. So yeah. But again, we just need to again, I keep saying this, but that's all you can really do. As long as you can keep performing well and just giving it your best shot, then hopefully you'd like to think that the results will follow. And again, we've been close to getting wins in the past. In the past few weeks, especially against Port Vale, which it was one of the best performances against Port Vale. It was just missing that final third, really. That final. That end game of a shot, really. But again, we've shown we can go to toe to toe with teams in this league. We know that, but we just need to be more clinical. And if we can do more of that, then I think we'll be fine. And I think we'll be. I think we can climb up the league and fine. Paul, catch 22, isn't it? Well, yeah, it is. It's it would be a manager, making these decisions, because it's it can go either way, can't it? But I'm sure Nigel will. Look, Nigel will know Nigel will know better than any of us, as supporters. I mean, he trains them day in and day out. He'll know who's fit and who's not, So I trust any manager's judgment, to be honest with you. He's been in the game long enough to know if these players are ready or not, and it's one of them. It's sensible management by not risking players like McLaughlin or any other player that's not full. That can be a risk. So it makes perfect sense. It does. Paul, Sunderland have had a bit of a hammering lately, haven't they, though, Mark? Yeah, they have. I mean, they've got off to a good start in the league, but past few games they've lost. I think they got hammered 5-1 against Rotherham last week, and they had another defeat. And I'm not sure if it was last night or the other night. But this is a thing in cup games though, because form goes out the window, doesn't it, in cup games? So I've had a few people say that to me, saying, well, Sunderland's lost a couple of games. And it's like, well, it's great that they have, but they might be going into that game, thinking, well, we can't have another defeat. We're at home now, so we've got to, put that right. So, you know what I mean? It can go either way, though, can't it? But hopefully, from my point of view, they'll be low on confidence, whereas we're on a high from the Tranmere win. So, hopefully that will suit us to a T. So it's about time we've had a bit of luck in that respect, really, because we've always come up against teams banging form, and obviously we've been out of it. So it's good for it to be on the other way around, really. So hopefully we can take that and use it to an advantage. Paul thought it was 5-1. Yeah, it was. It was. I believe it was 5-1 last week against Rotherham. Don't quote me, but I'm sure it was last weekend. Rotherham hammered us 5-1. Yes, it was. I remember it on watching on Quest. Yeah, it was 5-1, and they lost against someone else the other night. It might have been last night. So yeah, they've had a couple of bad results, but I mean, this Sunderland team, they are a better Sunderland team than the Sunderland we faced last season. Obviously since then they've had a change in management. They've had a lot of players they've signed, and like I say, they've had a good start to their season. But again, I suppose this is a thing though. You can't. When it comes to cup matches, though, form goes out the window. You know what I mean? You can go into it where you've been banging form, and yet you've seen lower league teams or even some non-league teams that's come up against some higher up league teams, and they've ended up getting knocked out. So it's one of them. It can go either way, but that's what makes the FA Cup so interesting. Because again, when you're an underdog, no one's expecting you to do anything. So us going up there to face Sunderland. They'll be the favourites, obviously, having the home advantage, but it's one of them. We've got nothing to lose, as long as we go there and, play to our strengths and get in their faces, like George Lapsley says, then we've got a chance, Because if you can get them, if you can frustrate them and stop them playing, and if we can play to our strengths, then you've got every chance, you know what I mean? And I'm sure Nigel will be saying something similar to that effect. So, yeah. Let's hope we can go there and do that, and it would be great to do that. Paul, I think a lot depends on how Sunderland view the importance of the game regarding the strength of the side they field. Well, that's another thing as well that you say, because obviously we've seen it so many times in cup competitions, especially from your Premiership sides and even a few Championship sides, where they've thought, well, it's only the FA Cup, if we're against the League Two sides, so they might not put their first team squad out. So we're not going to know until the day itself, obviously, but, they might not be taking it seriously. Whereas we, by the signs of it, we're going in there with a fully strong team, bar a couple of players. But yeah, we're going there with the intention to win. The only competition that we haven't been like that is a Papa John's trophy, which, again, in my opinion, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't agree with the competition. Having Premiership under 21 or 23 squads in it, I think it's a stupid idea, to be honest. So it's one of them. The FA Cup, it's one of them. It's the competition that you want to do well in, and Nigel's been there before as manager, obviously at Burton when he drew Man United a few seasons back. So it's one of them. Nigel Clough will want us to field the strongest team possible to try and get a result there. So it's one of them. Like we're going to go there to win, no doubt, and hopefully we can go there and cause the upset. Poor Mickey Mouse trophy for that one, lol. Well, it is, isn't it? I mean, it's one of them, right? Look, I've got nothing against the Premiership, like, or any teams in it, to be honest, but it's just one of them. Like, it's just I find it really disingenuous to have Premiership teams in that. I mean, the only good format of that would be if you had some conference sides in it. You know what I mean? if we had some conference teams in it, because it's one of them. It gives non-league teams a chance as well, in my opinion, rather than Premiership teams. But obviously, as we all know, Premiership always takes priority above everything else. So it's one of them. But yeah, but obviously, I mean, that's another game we've got next week against Newcastle under 23s. Now, we're already out of the competition anyway, so I'm not even going to bother talking about the Newcastle game next week because it's one of them. We're already out of the competition, and I don't really see many people go into that one, to be honest. So, but yeah, that's like I say, going into the Sunderland game this weekend. We're coming off against a great victory against Tranmere Rovers, and again, when you look at it, Tranmere, they went into the game against us where they had a couple of bad defeats, and you could see how much their confidence was affected. So, it is a really good time to be playing Sunderland. They've been on the receiving end of some big defeats, so it is the best time to play them. But on the flip side to that, they might see it as we don't want to lose a game, another game as well, and what better way to do it than get through to the second round of the FA Cup? So it depends how you look at it, but again, it also depends on how seriously they're going to take the competition as well. And that comes into it as well. That's always a big factor into it as well. But yeah, I mean, look, listen, it would just be good I think it would be good for the players as well because, there'll be no pressure on 3 points for the players and, obviously, past few weeks, past few weekends, it's been really frustrating in terms of the results haven't really been obviously there, as well as the performances haven't been as great as what they should be. But yeah, listen, there's no pressure on the players to do anything this Saturday, none at all. But like we've always said on the page, and as well as at matches, is as long as the players turn up, give it their all, and just give 110% on the pitch, then we can accept that. And it's one of them. If we can do that for the rest of the season as well, then I'm confident. I'm more than confident in saying that we'll be fine this season. Because the performances are there. We know we can play well, but that's the most frustrating thing. We know we can play well. It's just, again, we just need to be taking our chances more, like we did on Saturday. Because when we did that, it took a lot of pressure off us as a team. So hopefully we can do that. And again, just got to go in there with no fear. Excuse me. Paul, agree, Mark. Balanced view of that, mate. Well, it is. I mean, I think that's how you've got to be. You've got to view it as that. And, I'm sure Nigel will be saying this similar things to the players, or, he'd like to think so. Just don't worry so much about how you've been playing in the league. This is a distraction for us now to do well. I mean, look at us that time in the conference a few seasons back. The season that we went up in, obviously we had that good cup running where we faced Liverpool. And after that, we just use that confidence from that cup run to get promoted, and it's one of them. A good cup run can really do your season a load of good, to be honest. So it's no harm if we did have a good cup run, but at the same time, you don't want it to be a distraction from the league. So it's a bit of a difficult one at times because me personally, and I'm sure a lot of people are the same on here, although some might be different. But personally, I'd love a cup run. I think we'd all love a cup run. But at the same time, though, you don't want it to, you still obviously want us to do well in the league, though, as well. So it's just having that balance, really. But yeah, it'd be great if we could get a result on Saturday. It really would be. But again, it's it just depends on, again, just how we perform and, how the course of the game goes, is essentially like always. But now we've got nothing to fear. We've got nothing to fear at all. And when you haven't got any pressure, when you're not playing with pressure, then you can play with freedom, and hopefully the players can once again just show us what they're made of. Essentially, I do. But yeah, again, guys, let us know your predictions for this weekend's game against Sunderland in the comment section below. So, what's your prediction of the score this weekend? See, it's a difficult one because, again, it's a cup game. Anything can happen in the cup, so it's a difficult one to say, to be honest. But as long as we can, again, go there and perform well and give it a all, then I think we can be more than happy with that. But hopefully we can just use that confidence going into it, and again get something from it. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. But yeah, also let us know as well in the comments, guys, who's going to that match, and as well, like I say, I'm looking forward to going to it. It's going to be a really good atmosphere at the stadium. I like. Let's have a look. Let's get down some of your comments, guys. Right. Paul, a score draw mark, and then bring them back to the mill, and we could beat them. Yeah, it'd be great. It would be. Like I say, this is the thing. It'd be great if we could do that. If we could do that. But again, it just depends on how we perform, being one of the main things, as well as just if we can do that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's always love a good cup run, and yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Let's have a look. Paul, does anyone know if the game's on iFollow? Thanks. I don't believe it is, Paul. I'm not quite sure if it's being shown on anything, if I'm being honest with you. But then again, I'm not really quite sure if it is or not. So I think the commentary is going to be on there, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on this, but I think the commentary of the Sunderland game will be on there. So if you can't get to the game, I presume the iFollow commentary's on it. I'm not sure if they're going to stream the game on iFollow. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen anything being said about it, but I'll update people on the page if that changes, though. But to my knowledge, I don't think it is. But I'll have to look into that because I'm not quite sure myself, Paul, to be honest. But I think the commentary will be on there on iFollow, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll have to look into that just for confirmation. I'd have to ask Martin Shaw on that to see if what the thingy on that. Paul, are you going more? Yeah. Yes, I will be. First trip down to Stadium of Light, and it's like I say, looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a great atmosphere. But yeah, like I say, it's again, it really can. If you can get a good cup run going, though, it can really, help your confidence out of knowing. Like I say, you've seen it a few seasons ago. When we was in the conference, we got to the third round of the FA Cup, draw Liverpool, and then from then on there, we did really well in the league. So hopefully, without looking too far ahead, if we can get a result against Sunderland, then hopefully that can have a good impact on us in the league. But at the same time, though, we do need to be climbing up the table. You know what I mean? As good of a win that was against Tranmere, we still need to obviously do a lot more to climb the table. And again, the good thing about it is that we've got a lot of games to put that right. So, hopefully as the season progresses, we can do that. But yeah, we're going into this game on the back of a good win against Tranmere, and again, you've got to be positive. You've got to look into it and think, well, it doesn't matter who you face in the FA Cup, because it's one of them. You could be facing it against a non-league side, and you think, well, you bank on it to going through to the next round, and you could get an upset. So it's one of them. I think, having a look at it, obviously Sunderland, yeah, they've had a good start to the season. I know recently they've had a dip in form, but it's one of them. At the same time, for them, they could look at it as though, well, facing a League Two side, they're a team below, and it's one of them. They could view us as easy pickings, and they might take the foot off the gas and not expect us to go there and perform. So, if we can, get in the faces and stop them playing, then again, we've got a chance, because they might not take the game seriously. And if not, and if we can use that to an advantage, then we've got every chance of getting something from the game. But yeah, like I say, we're going to be back with over 1,000 Stags fans to the game as well. So if you're able to, guys, or if you know anybody that wants to go to the game, make sure you get your tickets and get yourself booked on any coaches if there's any spaces available. I've seen a lot of spaces being taken up recently as well, with the high demand. So hopefully we can all get down there supporting the boys, and yeah, let's try and get through to the next round. Essentially, yeah, let's do it. I mean, nobody thought we could have beat Sunderland last season, did they? Nobody thought for a second we'd have beaten Sunderland, and we did. So, you know what I mean? Who knows? But yeah, again, no pressure on the lads whatsoever. Um, but if I'm being honest with you, though, if I'm being brutally honest, even if we got knocked out and we perform well and give it a roll, then I'd be more than happy than that, to be honest. And I think we'd all be the same if we went there and really gave it a good go. And we got knocked out. I don't think a lot of people would be mad at that. To be fair, because I think as long as you give a good account of yourselves and give 110%, then again that's all you can ask for as a fan, to be honest. So hopefully the players can do that. But no, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to seeing what happens in that in that respect. Paul agree entirely. Thanks for that, Paul. No, you've got to be optimistic, haven't you? Because otherwise, why would we be here as supporters? Why would you be going supporting your team? You know what I mean? So you've got to be optimistic, and because everyone's got a chance at the end of the day, just like you have in the league. So yeah, saying really looking forward to it. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one, and again, I know I touched upon it a couple of times earlier on, but I can't stress how this month's going to be such a interesting as well as tough fixtures, because we've obviously facing sides from the bottom. Facing against Scunthorpe, who they've recently sacked their manager. Obviously, we're coming up against a few other teams in the bottom. Stevenage, they're a team that's in bad form. So it's one of them. We are playing teams that are in bad form at the right time, and if we can capitalise on that, then we've got a chance of picking more points up. So yeah, let's just hope we can just keep this momentum with going up, and just again, let's hope we can go on a winning run. Like we've got that win against Tranmere, and hopefully that can really be a spring step to towards getting more results, really. But yeah, I mean that's the thing as well. We've got players coming back from injuries as well. So when you've got the likes of Ryan Sturt coming back as well, it would be a big boost for us in midfield. Someone else with more energy, and Will Forrester, he's getting himself fit as well, so he can slot into the defence and get Ollie Hawkins back up front. So yeah, it's slowly coming together. But again, we are still a long way off from where we want to be, obviously. You know what I mean? But again, we've just got to go there with and give it a roll, Paul, Stevenage, Scunny, Sutton, and then Crawley on the games more. Thanks for that, Paul. I've got a couple right. I'm always terrible at remembering stuff like that, but yeah. But I mean, again, you look at it, and again, and no disrespect to any of the teams, obviously, because you can never underestimate any team in this league, as we know. But I think Sutton will be a tough test for us. Sutton will be a very tough test for us. I think they've had a good start to the Football League life. Sutton have. Alistair Smith, the former Stag, he's done really well since he's been there, and he's done well from what I've heard about him there, and they've had a good start, so that's going to be tough. And again, Crawley, they're another team that's not too far away from the bottom either. So it's one of them. You know what I mean? They're winnable games. They are winnable games on paper, but again, it just depends on how we perform, and obviously making sure we can pick up maximum points. So I mean, let's face it. If we can get let's have a look. So if we can get like 10 points from that, what I mean? It's 10 points, and we can be mid-table with that, depending on how the other results go. So we have got a lot to play for in that respect, and it's a big chance for us to get more points on the board with that. So again, let's hope we can do that. Paul, I think we could do well against Stevenage and Scunny. Yeah, I don't see why not, Paul, to be honest. I mean, all due respect to them, but, hopefully now we've had our bad patch now, and hopefully now we've turned the corner in the league and we can start putting some wins on the board now, hopefully. But like always, you've got to take each game as it comes. Obviously, you don't want to look too far ahead with things. And I know I'm saying that now, and I'm doing that. But you can't help but look and think, there's some winnable games on paper there, and all due respect to them, the sides that you think, well, they're in a bad run of form, so why can't we go there and do that, really? So, but again, let's just focus on Sunderland first, get that out of the way, and then see where we end up there, essentially, and take each game as it comes. I don't think there's any Mansfield fan that's really bothered about the Newcastle game next week against in the Papa John's Trophy. I don't think anyone could give two hoots about it. Our sure hell don't, and I'm sure a lot of fans don't either, to be fair, so we'll forget about that one. One, because we're already out, and second of all, it's just the whole format of that competition just stinks. So, I don't think anyone's really bothered about that. So, yeah, let's just focus on Sunderland this weekend, and like I say, let's hope we can go up there and show a good account for ourselves, and then look forward to Stevenage, really. So, yeah. But no, I think that's pretty much it tonight, guys. I think we're pretty much... Obviously, I spoke about the Tranmere game, and obviously spoke a bit about the Sunderland game as well this weekend, and among other players that we spoke about. But yeah, and again, it's so great to be sat here just talking about a win. You know what I mean? It's finally we've managed to get that rabbit off our back now, and again, let's just hope we can just keep it going. If anything, keep that momentum going, and get a good run of results together, really, because. Again, you don't really want to let... I just hope the players just don't let that win get to their heads too much and think, because we've got one game, that's it, because we need to just, again, get some consistency going if we can. And again, on Saturday, like I say, if we can go there and give it a roll and, put in a good performance, then I don't think anyone can complain in that respect. But yeah, thanks again as always, guys, for commenting. Thanks again, Paul. Thanks again, Chris, and everybody else that's tuning into it tonight. Really appreciate you taking your time out of your evening as always. And yeah, like I say, next week I'm hoping to be interviewing some more fans as well as bringing you more content as well. And again, if you're going down to the game, on Saturday, safe journey as well, and hopefully we can all be. Talking about a good performance from the Stags and hopefully go through to the next round of the FA Cup. But, like with everything, we'll just see how it goes and, just see what happens, if anything. But there's no pressure on the players this weekend. They can play with some freedom, so let's hope they can go down there and do that, really. Paul, enjoy the trip up there, Mark. Keep safe. Good show tonight. Cheers, guys. Thanks again, Paul. Appreciate the support. Means a lot. Thank you. And yeah, again, thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And even better, I hope we all have a great weekend. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate that. And talk soon. Thank you. Up the Stags.